And then there was a time where like I really felt like there was so much loss, and I was just clawing my way, like trying to get out of that place. Hi, welcome back to with Sherry McMillan. My name is Sherry, and today I want to talk about the fact that nothing is missing in your life. You have more than you think. And I'll just go ahead and jump in and talk about maybe 3 reasons why you feel like something is missing in your life. So the first one being, maybe you still have goals that you haven't been able to achieve yet, or you haven't even reached them. And no, I'm not talking about those societal goals or pressures that have you thinking, oh, I need to achieve this particular thing by this age or that thing by that age. No, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about maybe you started school and you haven't finished yet, or maybe you plan to go back to school but you haven't. Maybe you're planning to learn a new skill at work and you haven't. Maybe you have health goals for yourself and you still haven't been able to be disciplined enough or to really prove to yourself that you can actually make those things happen. I get it. That's probably the reason why you're like, you know, something is missing in my life. Oh my gosh, if I could just get there, if I could just make these things happen, then I know at that point I would be where I want to be. I would be where I need to be. I would be so much more happier. I would be so much more fulfilled with life. The second reason is maybe you're dealing with loss or misfortune. Now, this is one that I know really all of the reasons I'm going to give you, I'm speaking from personal experience. But when it comes to loss and misfortune, you know, people who don't go through that, where they feel this emptiness, where they feel like they've hit rock bottom, people who haven't went through that don't understand that. But for those of you like myself who have felt like you have really hit rock bottom, or you feel like you have lost everything that you built for yourself or that you wanted for yourself, all these goals that you have for yourself are just not happening anymore. The things that you did have in your life, you've lost those things, even if it's actual people or situations or jobs or certain circumstances. Your environment looks different, but it doesn't look different in a way of improvement, but it looks different as in a way of like a step down. I get it. When you're in that place, it's really hard to accept where you are, knowing that you had this other thing that seemingly looked and maybe even felt much better. Maybe you're like in that place right now where you're like going through what people call seasons, or valleys, or maybe this is a chapter of your life where you are having to build yourself up from literally nothing. You're having to gain all the things you once had before, and maybe life has changed for you in that way. So I get it. When you're in that space, you're definitely going to feel like you don't have the things that you desire, and that there are so many things missing in your life because now you no longer have those things. They've been taken away, or you lost them in some type of way. I get it. My heart goes out to you. There is hope. There is hope. The third one is societal pressures. And so, you know, we have these societal pressures to get married by this certain age, to have children by this certain age, to have these particular types of jobs, to have this type of security in these things, and what that actually looks like for ourselves. And when you have those type of societal pressures, you don't even understand that that is the reason why you're pushing for this thing, you're pushing for that thing, why you're constantly creating these types of goals and why you maybe feel like your values are lined up in this particular way is because these societal pressures have been deeply rooted in your brain, in your beliefs, in your perception of the world. And it's so difficult if you don't understand where those societal pressures are coming from and what those societal pressures are. Oftentimes we look to other people, right, for influence, regardless to if we're trying to or not. Like, we look to other people for maybe some type of like motivation, or to, you know, have that mindset of, oh, if they can do it, I can do it too. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with that, nothing at all. But what I always talk about when I'm with my therapy clients or my coaching clients, I'm always saying, but what do you want? And if this is what you want, I want you to try to dig and dig and dig deep as you can to see where that idea came from. And maybe that idea came from actually you, something that you may have experienced for yourself, or maybe just something that you want for yourself. Like, hey, you know, I would like to be able to make enough money so that I can go and do these things. Even if you haven't experienced that, maybe you experienced the opposite and you want to now experience that, and that's like a goal for yourself. Got it, no problem. But the issue that I have is when you want to pursue things like that just to keep up, or to say that you're like on the same playing field as someone else who may be doing the same thing. I hope you're really getting what I'm saying there. So those are the 3 top reasons that I feel like you may be feeling like you're missing out on life, because I had a time where those were my top reasons for why I felt like I was missing out on life. Like, I felt like I was really drowning, really under those societal pressures and my own expectations for myself, like goals that I haven't reached yet. And then there was a time where like I really felt like there was so much loss, and I was just clawing my way, like trying to get out of that place and really trying to, I don't know, just, I really wanted more. I wanted better. I wanted at a time like what I had, and I'm like, if I could have just been able to keep that, then I would be like these many steps ahead, and I would be able to do these other things. But, you know, that's not the way that life happens sometimes. So, and that kind of goes into the second part of this video, where I want to share with you some advice that you may not want to hear, but it's so necessary. It was the only way that I started to appreciate, you know, where I am in life, regardless of failed goals, unreached goals, loss, misfortune, and, you know, releasing from societal pressures.